Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of A Gardener's Journey Homestead. I am Barbara with Living Foods Farm. I am in Tennessee, Zone 7A. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. Today is exciting because we are doing some of the first preparation work in the tunnel to start getting ready to plant for the summer. So of course we've been doing prep all along. We've been starting seeds, we're nurturing our seeds, we're trying to make sure they're ready to go in the ground. But today we are prepping some of the in-ground space where a lot of the summer vegetables for the tunnel are going to go. And so kind of just to back up, my last frost date is in 3 weeks. And I've said before that I feel more comfortable planting in the tunnel when the frost date ends. And then I'll probably plant 2 weeks later in the outside garden, in-ground garden, just to give the weather time to figure out what it's going to do and to make sure the 10-day forecast is intact. Because a lot of times you can plant on your estimated last frost date, but the next day or the day after, there may be a freeze, right? Because it's an estimated last frost date. They're just taking the average of when the last frost normally happens for your area, and it's an estimate, right? So I don't necessarily go like, oh my goodness, on April the 20th, I'm gonna put all my stuff out. That's not my plan. But I am planning to start planting in the tunnel first before the in-ground garden. So depending on what that 10-day forecast looks like, I may very well put some stuff in the tunnel on April the 20th or thereafter before I put it outside. So in the tunnel today, we are going through the beds and we're about to lay down some new black paper. If you remember, if you've been watching me in the fall, the paper that we had down was tearing up. And so when we first built this tunnel, this was we got the tunnel in October 20 or 21. I can't remember. Anyway, that's beside the point. Anyway, when we first put black paper down in the tunnel, we used a cheaper black paper fabric. I've talked about this before. You get what you pay for. And so that fabric has lasted a couple of years, but as I was trying to plant again in the fall and was pulling stuff up, the paper was just tearing because it's more of a fabric and not like a woven weave ground cover, which is what we have transitioned to. Last summer, remember, I laid down woven weave fabric in the in-ground garden, and that stuff is durable. It has held up really, really well, and I had minimal weeds, right? So I don't feel good about not having any paper now in the tunnel because that one has torn up. So we're actually going to lay down new paper in the tunnel, and I have a new woven weave fabric that I want to show you that I'm really, really excited about. Because y'all know I'm always trying new stuff, and when I try it, I share it with you and give you the 411. So hubby is getting ready to take the poles out so we can start getting ready for this space. So let me turn you around and let you see what it looks like. Okay, so this is the space we're going to start with. For those that have been watching me, you know this is the rows where I had the collard greens. My collard greens went to seed, and so we pulled those all up about a week ago and said goodbye to them. You see that I have a few on the left that had not bolted, but about 1, 2, 3, 4 bunches of collard greens that have not bolted, and then I have a little bit of kale right here on the right hand side. And so you can see that this fabric, let me see if I can show you. You see how easy it is for me to pull this up? Because it's not a woven weave. So basically you can see it's more like a fabric. It did good. I didn't have a lot of weeds, but it's not durable. So regardless of whether I was using this new product or not, we still got to put new black paper down. Now, I am a fan and a huge advocate for weave fabric black paper. I was just at a friend's house the other day. They have an outside garden, and when I looked out the window, it was full of weeds. Like, weeds, ground cover has taken over. Now, y'all know I love to garden, but let me tell you something. I don't like to weed. And if I have to fight with weeds, or if I had to fight with weeds, it would probably, I'm for sure, dampen my excitement about gardening. There's no love for it. And so I spend the money and I spend the time up front so that I don't have to do the weeds. Now, my garden, my rules, your garden, your rules. What I always say, if there's something good that I say that you like and you want to grab onto it. If it doesn't fit you, doesn't float your boat, throw it out the window. If you don't want to do black paper, throw it out the window. But if you're interested in having no weeds and you're interested in making your garden experience without weeds, then I definitely recommend a woven weave fabric. 100%. When I looked, I was like, I would not feel good about getting up in the morning and tackling all of those weeds just so that I could plant again. Like, it's a necessity if they want to plant again, like you got to do it. But I'm telling you, like, that does not make me excited at all. Like, it would just dampen my whole experience. That is why I use woven weave fabric. I will link down the woven weave fabric that I'm using today that's a little bit different, but it's the same concept as what I did in the in-ground garden. Okay, so let me turn you around. So because we have these poles and trellis up, hubby's gonna have to take out the poles, which I hate, but it's a necessary evil that has to happen so that we can lay the new paper down. There really was not a way around it, was it, honey?
No, not at all.
Okay. And I appreciate my help, so I try to make it as easy as possible on him, because like this is not what he does. He's not like a master gardener. He just loves his wife and helps me out. So you can see that he's trying to get the poles up out of there, and we will be able to use this again because at least the trellis part is attached to the pole. So I think once he gets the poles out, then we'll be able to just kind of lay this down, and then we can always put it back in place. So while hubby is doing that, I'm actually going to go around and do a quick harvest of some things real quick until we get to the paper part. Okay guys, so my husband got the T-post down. As you can see, I went through and did a little bit of harvesting, and y'all, as I was harvesting my kale is also going to seed. It's that season. It's that season when everything is bolting. But what you see my husband doing now is just kind of walking that back to get it out of the way. Hey, watch the plant. I see it. He's walking that back so we can have space to actually put the black paper. I need to go harvest the rest of... I need to go harvest the rest of these greens right here, and I might just pull them up because at this point, yeah, I don't know why I'm hanging on. Okay, y'all, this is where the magic is about to happen. Y'all see that we have cleared out the aisleways for the most part of that paper. You saw us, it was just really just pulling, easily being pulled over. But let me show you my new product. This is the woven weave fabric. But do you see these holes? Y'all, this makes me so excited. This makes me so excited. Do y'all see those holes? Already pre-cut. So, listen. Now don't listen. Y'all know I'm always trying to be efficient. This is called Quick Fabric. I think that's what it's called. I got it from Farmer's Friend. I will link them down below. These holes are 3-inch round circles, already pre-cut, fabricated, neat. There's no frayed edges. Y'all, it's perfect. It is perfect. Now, I don't know if you remember last year when I was doing the in-ground garden, we were trying to burn some holes in the fabric, and it found out we didn't have the right, there's like, we bought the torch or the butane lighter, but it's supposed to be something that goes over it that I did not know. And so when we got ready to burn the holes, it wouldn't work. When I had my planting party, remember last year I had a planting party when a couple of my friends came over and we planted the in-ground garden. And are we having a planting party again this year? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. It is on May 7th, I think, is when we're doing the big planting party for the in-ground garden. Okay, let me focus. So I tried to burn holes. It didn't work. And so then we had to cut, you know, one of those little sharp razors. Y'all, that's okay. But the edges were all frayed. The holes are all different shapes and sizes. And I just like for things to look a certain way. I like for things to be neat. I like for things to look good. And I'm just of the opinion, if you're going to do it, just do it the right way, right? So when I found out that you can get these already pre-cut, I'm like, I got to try it. I got to try it. And so it comes in 3 different size configurations. So this one that you see us laying out now is, the holes are 18 inches apart. The circles are 18 inches apart and it's down 1 seam. They have 2 other configurations as well. I'll link the thing down below so you can go take a look at it. Now, why would I do this? 1, because it's easy. Number 2, because it's efficient. Number 3, it's just going to make planting so much easier. I don't have to measure. I don't have to cut and spend my time. It's already done for me. All I got to do is plop the plant in there and we rocking and rolling. Now, do I have fabric left over from last year that I bought, that woven weave ground cover? I do. And I spent a pretty penny. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it cost, right? And I will still use that. But when I found this right here is the ticket. And if somebody is coming to help me plant, especially if they're not a gardener, they don't have, all they got to do is have a tray of plants. If it's all tomatoes, just put it in the hole. Like, you don't have to measure, you don't have to cut, you don't have to do any of that. Like my friends who came to help me, I love them and they did a fabulous job, but they're not gardeners, right? And so some of their holes was, you know, this big, some was this big. They were off centered, like it wasn't in a straight line. And I'm not complaining, I'm just explaining, right? They were, again, and it's fine because once the store starts growing, you can't really tell, but I know it's there. And again, my garden, my rules, my money. So this is what I did. So I'm so excited. Let me just turn you around and show you one more time. Y'all, do you see how perfect that is? Do you see how perfect that is? So he has the first strip down. And then of course, we're going to take it all the way across. It'll be 3 sheets and we'll just overlap because for this, in the tunnel, I already have like my beds or mounds or whatever of where I'm planting. So I will keep that the way it is, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'll keep it the way it is. And we'll just have 3 sheets that will overlap all the way down. The roll, they come in 4 feet wide, 300 feet long. I'm also going to use this in the outside garden, but I'm going to use a different configuration for the outside garden. This, like I said, is a single seam. The circles are 18 inches apart. So let me just ask my husband. Husband. Honey, what do you think about it? What do you think?
Oh, I love it. I love it. This is easy. It's perfect too. The holes are perfectly done. You know exactly where you want to plant, and you can go for it real easy. You know, this takes out 1 step. I mean, you spend a little bit of money, but it does take out a pretty crucial step.
With anything in life, you are either going to spend time or money. One of the two. So if you have more money than time, go on and buy this. If you have more time than money, then go. Can you do it yourself? You can. Now, don't ask me how to do it because I haven't done it successfully. But there are plenty of people on YouTube that have done the little holes, y'all. We didn't have the right equipment. It wasn't working like it was supposed to. And so they were all jagged, just squares, just messed up, right? But with this, let me tell you about the spacing. This spacing, the 18 inches, like this configuration is perfect for tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, anything that will be 18 inches apart, right? And then I have another configuration as well up at the house that is, I think it's 8 inches apart. So it's perfect for onions, garlic, lettuce, radishes, beets, and things like that. So once you buy these sheets, again, I can take them up at the end of the season, fold them, you know, up, and then I can lay them somewhere else you know, in a different row that has that configuration next season. So again, it is a cost up front. I want to say that this roll, the 4 feet, all of them come 4 feet by 300. I want to say the roll is like $175, right? And again, depending on how much space you have, that may be enough. So in my outside garden, you know that my outside garden is 20 by 100. So for 4 feet times 300, then I can get, they're gonna make me do this math on the spot. I could do 5. Yeah, I could do 5 sheets or whatever. So really, technically, if I'm doing that right, am I doing that math right, honey? Yeah, because if it's 4 feet wide, then I have 20 feet wide, right? I could do 5 and they're 300 feet. No, I could only do 3 because it's 300 feet long and mine are 100 feet. So I could do 3 sheets. Anyway, between 3 and 5. It's getting towards the end of the day. So my math is not mathing. But between 3 to 5 sheets for the in-ground garden. And that may be enough just for that. So again, if your space is not as big as mine, is not as long as mine, you may get away with 1 roll. So think you're spending $175, but it may last you for years, or it will last you for years, right? So this is the same fabric that I bought last year, the same toughness. This is just pre-cut. The fabric that I got last year was from Grower Solution, I think. I'll link that down below. But if you're going to buy that, you might as well just buy the one with the holes. Buy the one with the holes. Okay, so let me show you what I harvested while we were doing this. And yeah, let me show you what I harvested before it gets too dark. Let me show you what I harvested. I have my last basket of kale for this season. And y'all, my freezer is full of kale, so I'm not complaining at all. But look at all my kale. You can see how big the basket is. The baskets that I normally use. And then I have my final basket of collard greens. So we harvested that today. And really the kale and collard green season, it is over. It's over for me. Now you may be doing your stuff in the spring. I'm not doing that. And I've already talked about why I'm not doing that, but that's it. Thank you guys so much for joining with me today. The sun is setting, so we have maybe 30 minutes of daylight. I'm going to help hubby put the landscape staples in this one sheet, and then of course we'll do the rest later. But I wanted to show you my new product, my new tool. Y'all, hey, if Farmer's Friends see this video, y'all need to send me a new roll, because I have just pumped you all the way up, okay? Pumped you, but y'all know I don't pump up stuff just to be doing it, or if I don't like it. If I don't like it, I'll tell you I don't like it. And this I love. So remember, this is all part of the journey. Let's grow together. If you like what you're seeing, please subscribe to my channel. Tell a neighbor, tell a friend. And remember, don't give up. Be encouraged. Summer is on the way. We have food to grow. We have mouths to feed. And we have people to teach. Until next time, I'll see you then, friend.